Hello everyone, it's your automotive shop teacher, Mr. C. You see me every day in person, and now you can see me even on the TV. How crazy is it that we've come so far as a society that even though Today I'm going to be talking to you about the
Hoffman Geodynamic 77.
that we use to balance our car's tires. And you might think to yourself, why do we need to balance tires? They're round. Duh, shouldn't they be fine? Let me ask you something. Does this look round to you? If you said yes, you're wrong. This is not perfectly round. We like to think of tires as concentric and round, but the problem is there are always imperfections in not only the rim, but the tire that cause it to be not balanced. And so what we need to use the tire machine for is what we use the tire balancer for is balancing out the tire and rim combo so that there are no heavy spots, so that your wheel doesn't vibrate at high speeds, so that it acts as a perfectly concentric and round tire. Perfectly round. So the two main safety precautions we need to take when using this machine are we need to have eye protection because this thing's spinning around very quickly. And the other thing is that when we're operating it, we want to have the hood down. Like so. One other issue with where this tire balancer is situated is that it's right in front of the tool room door here. So please be aware if you're getting tools to be careful, and if you're using the balancer, please be aware that the door is behind you. As you can see, it's very tight here. In an ideal world, we wouldn't have that issue, but nothing in this world is perfect, and so we need to learn how to work with what we've got. Remember that. So the first step in this process is mounting the tire to the machine. There are two things we need to remember. First thing is that we need to find the right cone to fit into the hub bore of your wheel. We have different sizes of cones and we need to figure out which one will fit best. And so if we look at this cone, it goes right through. That is too small. If we look at this cone, it does not fit into that hub bore. It is too large. This cone, just right. Just like a good old bowl of porridge. Once we've found the right size cone, we put that onto the output shaft of the machine with the smaller surface facing out. And what that does is it centers the tire on this output shaft. The next thing we need to do is we need to use this wing nut. It is a large threaded wing nut, and we use that in tandem with the cone to secure the wheel to the machine, like so. Once we've got this on there nice and tight, we want to give this a few taps, just because this can come loose if it is not tightened down all the way. Once we have our wheel nicely mounted to the machine, we can come over here and find our on switch, and the screen should light up. So the next step is to find the three dimensions that they're asking us for. The width of the rim, the diameter of the rim, and the distance from the machine to the rim. And I'll show you how to get all of these dimensions in just a few seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. The first dimension that we need to find is the width of the rim. Sometimes this can be found on the rim itself, but we also have a tool that we can use to measure that dimension. That is found right here on the tool board. The way this tool works is simple but beautiful. You can see we've got some measurements on there. And as we open up the jaws, it tells us the distance between them. So we take this and we put it on the edges of the rim where the weights will be seated. And it should tell us the measurement that we're looking for. So you can see there, it's 5.5 inches. So now that I know the width of the rim, I can enter that number on the machine. You'll see these two side-to-side arrows correspond with that button there. And so I'm gonna hit that button. And it's going to prompt me to enter the width of the rim. So I'm going to enter 5.5, and that will give me the width of the rim. Now I want to move on to the diameter. Diameter of the rim can be found on the tire. It's the last number in the sequence of numbers on the tire. So this is, again, this is the width of the tread, this is the height of the sidewall, and this is the diameter of the rim. So it's an R14, it's a radial 14-inch tire. So we're gonna come back to our machine. You're gonna see there's the up and down arrows correspond with this up and down button here. So I'm gonna hit that button. It's gonna prompt me to enter a value. We know that it was R14, so it's 14 inches. And now we've got our width and our diameter set on the machine. The last value we need is the distance from the machine to the edge of the rim. So we use this little tool here, and we push that against the edge of the rim where the weights will be placed. Here's how you do that in real time. So I'll take this tool, put it up against the lip of the rim, and I'll hit that last button, and you'll see it gives me a measurement there as to this distance. Once you have all of your measurements set, press the green button to spin up the balancer.
Cause you got that. 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 Cause you got that.
Hey!
You're not clear to engage. I repeat, do not engage.
Like you, cause you got that. Something that I need. If I like, so give it to me. Cause you got that. Like you, cause you got that. Something that I need. If I like that.
Okay, so once we've hit the start button, the tire will rotate. And some numbers will come up. So the number on the left is for the inside of the rim. The number on the right is for the outside of the rim. So now we can lift up the hood and we can rotate the tire, and this machine will tell us exactly where we need to put the weights. So you'll see it'll move there, and the idea is that when this is in the middle, this line is lined up perfectly with where the weight needs to be. So I'll show you how to do that. And the numbers are referring to ounces. So on the left side of the rim, we need 0.5 ounces, and on the right side, we also need 0.5 ounces. And we have all sorts of weights here ready to go. So I'm gonna take a 0.5 ounce weight, and I'm gonna double check to make sure that the red line is right in the center there, which it is. I'm gonna lean over, I'm gonna line it up with that line I showed you earlier. I'm going to hammer it into place. And here's a life hack for you. Don't hammer your fingers.
Whoa, smart.
So once I've got that 0.5 ounce weight on the inside, I also need to put one on the outside, and I can get that as well by turning the tire until the red light is in the middle again. There's no line on this side, so you just have to eyeball the highest point on the rim, and that's where you put your weight. After we've got the wheel weights where we think we need them, we can then run the machine again with the hood down, and it should rebalance, and hopefully it'll end up at 0. We'll see. And would you look at that, a perfect 0.
It's kind of like golf.
So once you've zeroed it out, it's sometimes a good idea to run it again just to double check. And again, we still have 0, so that is awesome. This wheel is good to go. So for removing the wheel, it's the exact same. process, but in reverse. We need to loosen this wing nut, which is tight. Take the wheel off of the spindle. And we can remove this cone so that future users can choose their own cone. It's also a good practice to put the wing nut back onto the spindle. The nice thing about these machines is that once you've set them for one wheel, if you're doing an entire set of wheels, you don't need to reset those specifications. You just need to set it once, and you can run 4, 5, 6, 20 wheels through if they're all the same, and the balancing will be correct. Another thing that I want to make a quick note of is the fact that all of these weights are nicely organized by their proper labeling. So in the 0.25 ounce weight container, there are 0.25 ounce weights. In the 0.50, there are 0.50 ounce weights. Let's try and keep it that way for as long as we can, please. Put the necessary tools back in their specified locations so that the next person that goes to use it does not have to go on a wild goose chase to find those tools. So hopefully you understand a little bit more about this process and this machine. If you're confused at all or you have any questions, please hit me up in the comments of the classroom right now, and I will maybe have answers for them. If not, I don't know, I've failed as a teacher. Life is hard. Anyways, have a good rest of your day. See you later.